And you would think like, okay, that's not that bad, right? But then when you bring up another incident with Natasha Cloud during the same game, if I might add, during the same exact game, Natasha Cloud was seen pushing this same exact referee with no punishment, with no consequence. In fact, shutting DJ's claims down that this is not white privilege. In fact, this is black privilege. Let's be real with ourselves. Shout out to Rose Rance, my guy, Black and White Sports, one of the realest in this space.
We are witnessing one of the most controversial officiating debates in recent WNBA history, and the pressure on the league is growing rapidly. What happens when physical play, questionable calls, and frustrated fans collide on the biggest stage? The controversy surrounding the Indiana Fever has raised serious questions about officiating, player safety, accountability, and the league's handling of heated situations. Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham have both been at the center of intense discussions surrounding physical play, and fans are demanding answers. But while accusations of corruption and intentional targeting have spread across social media, there is no verified evidence that WNBA referees are deliberately targeting the Fever or that an organized campaign exists against Clark or Cunningham. Still, the growing frustration cannot simply be ignored.
Right? And the camera was to her back, though, so we didn't see that. She said, no, I didn't. And you could just tell by the way in which she responded there and post-game and at the press conference that she didn't. And then the fact that we got an appeal before the game was over, and the fact that we got that rescinded, guys, 2 hours and 20 minutes afterwards, said all we needed to know, right? Before the Fever had even been wheels up from Chicago, this had been rescinded. And it was so significant, obviously, not just because of this technical and what it meant there, but also moving forward. It would have meant she doesn't play tonight against the New York Liberty. It would have been a league-leading 8th technical foul. And so it's something definitely is on probably the back of her mind here for the final dozen games here, because one more and she's suspended. But I think this is chalked up purely to just a rookie mistake, rookie read there from that official. And it was a situation I would have liked to see one handled in the moment.
During an intensely physical game, Caitlin Clark appeared to make a phone call gesture toward an official after becoming frustrated with a sequence involving her teammate. The moment quickly attracted attention online, with fans interpreting the gesture as a message that she would take her concerns directly to the league office. Whether that was actually her intention or simply an emotional reaction in the heat of the game, the moment captured the frustration surrounding the Fever. Clark has faced enormous scrutiny since entering the WNBA, and her every reaction is now analyzed by millions of fans. When one of the league's biggest stars visibly expresses frustration with officiating, it naturally creates a much larger conversation about how games are being called.
Gave us the same explanation. And when you mix that in with what the referee said even transpired in the first place, once again.
Yeah, she intentionally seeked out the official.
She intentionally, Caitlin Clark intentionally seeked out an official and used a...
You were backwards to them? Did you even know they were there in that moment?
And threw it through the forearm.
And through a forearm. So Caitlin intentionally, that's a wild accusation, by the way, not accidentally, intentionally ran in and seeked out an official and threw a forearm, when you can clearly see in real time that Caitlin Clark was literally hip bumped by Natasha Howard while she was mobile. You guys know when you're running, you are in a vulnerable position. Any slight push or anything can...
And those sorts of things. But look, I view Clark very much kind of like a miniature version of Stephanie White, and how they handle things, how competitive they are, how they're both shooters. Clark's obviously the better player out on the court, and they both were 22, oddly enough. But there's no doubt in my mind that White and her great coaching staff can help take them the distance. The interesting thing, Caroline, in all this, something different that they have to work through here is one of their coaches is on maternity leave, and her husband also on the staff, having to sort through that with baby number 2 on the way. So it's a blessing for something like this for them to deal with, but it's something they'll have to work through here for the next 6 weeks or so.
Real quick before we get you out of here, Scott, as you talk about Stephanie White, everybody on Twitter has an opinion about Coach and the team. With all of the controversy that follows the Fever, does the noise galvanize them or start to rip them apart by the time the season is done?
Yeah, I would lean towards more galvanized. I think they've done a good job.
The fallout from the viral moment was immediate. Social media exploded with reactions from fans who believe the league needs to take a closer look at physical play and officiating standards. Supporters of Clark and Cunningham argued that players deserve stronger protection when dangerous contact occurs, while others pointed out that officiating mistakes are part of every professional sport. Claims that referees were suspended, contracts were terminated, or officials were removed because of this specific incident should not be presented as confirmed facts without reliable evidence. What is undeniable, however, is that the controversy has intensified the debate over consistency, player safety, and accountability in WNBA officiating.
Or just on that outside, it comes down to me to several factors. Number one, not allowing those lulls. We'll see them as they have the last couple games. Get up 17, 18 points, middle of the second quarter. And then like they did, against the Las Vegas Aces in a matter of 2.5 minutes to close the first half, gave up 15 unanswered. So instead of going into halftime up 20, you're just up 5. To go into that, it's turnovers. When they're good, they're turning it over 12, 14 times. When they're not, it's 21, 22 turnovers per game. And they're not getting into that offense. They're not getting out of transition. They're not making that successful pass in the post to Aaliyah Boston. And then the third and perhaps maybe the most importantly, but it all ties together, is the defensive end. Do they have enough defensively as a collective to get it done? Individually, probably not as much, but they don't have to be great. They don't have to be a top 5 defensive team. They just have to be average, be solid. And they have shown here in the last month and a half, really, that they can be most of the time, but not always. And so they have to lock in defensively when they are giving up those 100+ points and having to outscore their opponent. I'm not sure that can hang on through a postseason and those sorts of things. It's good enough to get them where they are. But look, they got 20 wins, still a dozen games left here in this 44-game season. I think they've got to feel good and optimistic about where they're at, but also understand they've got areas for improvement, and that can help lead them into what could be a successful playoff run. Fully healthy, too, by the way. They had that successful run to Game 5 of the semifinals last year, but that was without Cunningham, without Caitlin Clark, both of whom were out with injuries, plus several others.
There's no doubt that championship is the expectation in Indiana, especially as long as Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Caitlin Clark are wearing Fever jerseys. Is Stephanie White the coach to get them there?
Absolutely can be. I think so. I think she connects with the players well. I think she knows this franchise and very well. And I think she's done a good job of adapting Caroline this season in that offensively, they were doing some things differently. We know she's more of a defensive-minded coach. That's what her specialty is. But I think
for the Indiana Fever and their supporters, this controversy has become much bigger than one call or one game. It is about whether players are receiving consistent protection and whether officials are being held accountable when mistakes happen. Caitlin Clark's enormous popularity has placed unprecedented attention on every Fever game, meaning controversial moments can quickly become national stories. Sophie Cunningham's physical encounters on the court have also fueled passionate reactions from fans. The league now faces a difficult challenge. It must maintain competitive, physical basketball while also ensuring that dangerous or excessive contact is handled consistently. The demand for transparency is growing, and fans want to know that the same standards apply to every team and every player.
Privilege in this league, you know what I'm saying? But man, listen, like, if this is white privilege, I don't know what it is, man. Listen, Caitlin Clark has it taken away by Hawkins. If this is having it taken away, I don't know what to say, man. If you gotta rake someone's arm, go over their back just to get a hand on the ball, this is one of the worst white privileges I have ever seen, man. It's actually diabolical, chat. If I'm being honest with y'all, man. If I'm being honest with y'all, it's actually diabolical. I could go through a whole list of what actually happened with Caitlin Clark's technical fouls, man. Like, look at this, chat. Let's just be real. Luana Bonner swinging. Like, we could go through her technical fouls. Her technical fouls are she does not deserve half, if not a lot of these technical fouls. She probably really has like 1 or 2 warranted, you know? People are going at her, and she's responding. She's not fighting people. She's just responding.
And Clark is perplexed.
Look at this.
Shocked as to why she was assisted technical.
And she's like, what did I say? Kayla's lost. And once again, you see Stephanie White itching and twitching, methaning over there on the sideline. Caitlin Clark losing her mind. And Stephanie White is just like, What's going on? I didn't get my hit, huh? Who, what, where, why? Whoa. Look at her twitching over there. Caitlyn trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Diabolical work, man. And they really gave her technical for this. And then Sophie and then look at this. Sanaya Rivers literally did this to Caitlin Clark. That's literally taunting a player. That's against the rule book. That's an automatic technical foul. But because the official missed this first technical foul, Caitlin responded. And Sanaya Rivers is approaching Caitlin Clark. Yet Caitlin Clark is she's on the receiving end of unfair calls every single time. As you can see, yes, baiting or taunting an opponent is considered unsportsmanlike conduct and results in a technical foul under WNBA and official basketball rules. Waving at a player after a whistle was called is literally unsportsmanlike conduct, and that should result in a technical foul. But no, the official missed it, and you can tell the official missed it because Caitlin is literally pointing to the referee like, yo, you gonna let her just do that? Like, Caitlin, you can see she's pointing like, yo, you just saw her wave at me, you gonna let her do that? And then Sanaya makes a second round to Caitlin Clark. And Caitlin Clark absolutely, they decimating the Connecticut Sun, right? So Caitlin says, okay, ref not gonna do something, I'm gonna do something. Scoreboard. She didn't even wave her hand back. She didn't get aggressive with her. She said, look at the scoreboard. That's competitive banter, if anything. Look at it. Look at the effing scoreboard. Look at it. She said, look at the effing scoreboard. But now the referee wants to step in. And Sanaya Rivers still approaching Caitlin Clark. Should have been thrown out the game. Caitlin is clearly in her team huddle. Still trying to be a professional. Still being professional. When you got this ghetto thug trying to start problems. I swear it's the drama. And she went to threads after the game as well. Posting on social media. Inciting violence on Caitlin Clark once again. Like I'm telling you guys, this league is not serious. It's not serious. This is black privilege at its finest.